no children. Look, Muslim coming.
Oh, yeah, they have no
Germany the same. Look, no Germany. No,
all
you, no,
Spanish.
no.
They're only,
Maybe no America. No. You come, everybody come here and mix.
there's nobody, no children.
Mix. Russia mix. Look,
Oh.
70 years after
Yes,
revolution.
I preach
Mix.
about patience
Look,
everywhere in
my
this
mother,
podcast.
Belarusian.
I talk about
my
not
father
Russian.
Russian. I mix. What to do? Yeah, America the same.
And talking late
You
and
look,
getting
look,
up
look.
early.
Your wife, Spanish. Maybe you want the children.
I should be
What?
president.
You half the Spanish, half the American.
I need to be president. I need the Latino vote. Trump needs the Latin vote now. He can't win without the Latinos. You can't win Biden or Trump. They can't win. They have to have Latino vote.
But I slit the veins of gnats you cannot bear. Yeah, and then I'll slit the veins of gnats. Yeah, if I can't tolerate something like I complain all the time. And
Try, David, try.
I say it's like self-abuse to wait at a stoplight. What? You're saying that's slavery? Yeah, I'm saying it's like slavery to be in a car and wait at a stoplight. Really? So a four-way stop would
Not
be
ready to do full cold yet.
one of those big highways
Called that.
with the big turns and the four lanes, and you're even more of a slave. Yeah, so you're not patient. So don't drive a car and just sit in meditation if you're not patient enough. Okay, I will then. All right. And he says, we were talking before in the other podcast about the fox and the donkey, and we talked about the lion had gotten the fox to trick the donkey, and the fox's trick overwhelms the donkey's wish to remain pure with self-restraint. Yeah, I had wished to remain pure with self-restraint, but I've been tricked by the fox. So I got to figure out what to do in this podcast. So I'm going to continue. The fox tried his tricks and he persevered. He dragged a simple donkey by the beard. Yeah, and I've been dragged around by my simplistic material desires. Yeah, so. Yeah, you're so, you have so many uncontrollable desires. Like, you saw the empty tennis court this morning at 7 a.m. And you noticed it was open at 6 a.m. And you were angry about how you didn't have any friends to meet you at 6 a.m. and play tennis. Well, he dragged the simple donkey by the beard. Yeah, I'm going to take a simple donkey and drag it to the court to make him play tennis with me. Oh, okay. Why don't you get one of those, they have these robots now that play very good. I saw it on Instagram or YouTube. They play very good table tennis or ping pong. Why don't you just get yourself a robot tennis player? Okay, I will, so shut up. He dragged the simple donkey by the beard. Where is the Kanake musician's son? Let him play drums and sing. The ass is gone. Yeah, they could sing The Ass Has Gone. So if I could get my ass out of myself, and after doing meditation, I could say the ass has gone.
Immune system sleeping. If you cold, you find it.
If I could get the ass, I could then write a song. A hare can lead a lion down a well, so oxes can make donkeys graze as well. Close your ears to the people's spells, except those from the friend of God, the true adept. Yeah, you should close your ears to the spells that people put you under when they share their interest in this and that, and their desire to do that and this, and they're going to buy a certain thing that's going to make them enlightened. Oh, you can buy herbs and food. You can. Some people, they keep buying health food as if you can achieve enlightenment by health food. But they just don't have the knowledge that you can just instead do meditation. Close your ears to the people's spells except those from the friend of God, the true adept. Yeah, I'm gonna try to close my ears and just listen to the Master's podcast. Okay. Those from the friend of God, the true adept, that spell of his beats halva, for it's sweeter. 100 halvas are his spells inferior. Royal jars filled with wine up to the brim took their stock from those wine-stained lips for him. Only the souls remote from the divine will have other wines and not just his lips wine. Yeah, those souls who are remote from the divine will have other wines, so yeah, instead of just drinking like Heineken Zero and maybe having alcohol-free beer at the U.S. Open, they'll actually drink other wines. Or they might drink a real Heineken with the alcohol in it or something like that. You know. Only the souls remote from the divine will have other wines and not just his lips wine. So if you're in touch with the divine, then your primary love is for the wine coming out of the mouth of the Master. Okay. How does he have wine coming out? I mean, is that the music or the sonorous light, or is it the sound current, or is it the nam or the logos or the word? Yeah, is that the word, or I thought the Bible is the word? What's the word? Do you have words in this podcast? Yeah. Blind birds can't see sweet water. It's no wonder. Yeah, and if you're a blind bird, you can't see the sweet water. So, if I was blinded, it's no wonder that they don't see the sweet water. Blind birds can't see sweet water. It's no wonder that they keep circling around the briny water. Yeah, and I just keep circling, like sometimes I keep looking and looking and looking for different trails to hike on, all trails. So I keep circling around, and sometimes I look for like loop trails, so I don't want to have to backtrack. Yeah, well, in a way, you're backtracking just by backtracking to read this book. Yeah. Aren't you backtracking to go back to the same tennis court or something? So, are you a blind bird who can't see sweet water? It's no wonder that you keep circling around different tennis courts in New York. Blind birds can't see sweet water. It's no wonder that they keep circling around the briny water. Yeah, and I'm probably going to go back to the U.S. Open during the fan week and just keep circling around looking for a good tennis match and stuff. Yeah, you just keep wandering. You like find one game and you go to the next, and your friends tell you to go to the Legends thing, and then go here and there, and they keep circling around the briny water. Beast breast split from spiritual Moses' sheer might, like Sinai, and blind parrots gain their sight. The drum's been banged by Khosrow and Siren's lover. Sugar's prices plunged lower, it's no wonder. Yeah, I'm still wondering when the price of sugar is gonna plunge. I mean, how long is this gonna go on, like people eating sugar? There should be maybe a crime to put sugar in food. Yeah. Sugar's price has plunged lower, it's no wonder. Yeah, you would think it would plunge, but I wouldn't put options, because, yeah, you would be like blind to the truth if you invested in, or tried to short sell it. And sugar's price has plunged lower, it's no wonder. Yeah, well, people, they just eat sugar and still eat meat, so I've sort of given up on that strategy. I'm not going to short sell pork bellies, because people, they like their bacon, so leave them alone and let them eat and stuff themselves with the stuff. Yeah. Well, all right, so I'm going to blind myself to that. Sugar's price has plunged lower, it's no wonder. Joseph's of the unseen now lead troops near, they're bringing sacks of sugar over here. Egyptian camels face our way as well. Listen now, parrots, to their ringing bell. Our town will fill with sugar in a day. Sugar's low price will plunge more in that way. Wallow in sugar as the parrots do. Well, I have wallowed in sugar why are you wallowing in it? Are you a blind bird? Or why would you still have some if you were totally enlightened and had realized it? And what's going on with you? Candy lovers, ignore the bitter few. Pound sugar cane, this is good work to do. Why is it good work to do if it's bad for you? Fling your soul to the soul, beloved, too. Well, if I got my soul out of the body and flung it towards the beloved, no bitter one remains now in our town, since Surin has now seated Khosrow down. So many sweets, so much wine, it is awesome. Well, I could achieve maybe the sweetness of the nectar at the third eye, and that might be awesome if I could tap into deep level meditation. That would be better. And I could drink my wife's chocolate, which is actually sugar-free. What is it? And then I could shout from the minaret, a general welcome, so sweet will be the vinegar. So old. Mere stones will turn to rubies and to gold. Yeah, how am I gonna turn stones to rubies and to gold? The sun is clapping from the sky above. Dust specks are frolicking like those in love. The garden has made eyes drunk. Blossoms now are budding beautifully on every brow. Yeah, actually, I got some photos of some flowers when I went out for a jog this morning before 7 a.m. You went out early? Yeah, I jogged along 34th Avenue, and it was around 6:45 when I took the jog, and that's when I saw my friend over at the tennis court, and I became jealous and wanted to barge in, but I didn't have my tennis racket, and I was disorganized. And what's wrong with you? Why don't you get up earlier? You weren't so tardy. Yeah, well, I'm blind to the management of my time, and I tend to be rather disorganized and stupid. Okay. Then why don't you get organized? Okay. We get up earlier, meditate at 3 a.m., and then go at 6 a.m. to the tennis court. What's wrong with you? You should be a high-performance person. Yeah, I could be if I wasn't so disorganized. Well, are budding beautifully on every brow. Well, at the same time, I could bud this podcast, and maybe that would be wondrous. The eye of fortune's working wondrous magic. The soul says, I'm God. Like Mansur, ecstatic. Well, when would I get enough time for enough meditation to reach an ecstatic state? Yeah, you have a problem with time management, so far you have to meditate and you play tennis at 6 a.m. and you do a podcast and drink your chocolate and you go into the tennis open and you jogging and so this is a problem. Yeah, I know. If a fox kills a donkey, don't you worry, you won't be harmed since you are not a donkey. Well, if I'm not a donkey, I'm not going to worry about it, so... Well, I thought you were a donkey, but if you become not in a deep state of annihilation, yeah. Well, if I meditate long enough, I could not be a donkey. Oh. And then you... Yeah, so I'm trying to get the donkeyness out of myself in this podcast. So, yeah, well, yeah, I'm afraid so. A man took refuge in a house at Pace. Yeah, so what happened is I took refuge in a house. His lips were blue and a pale yellow face. The house's owner asked, how are you okay? Yeah, and they'll often, because I'm kind of weird and withdrawn and I can be quiet and I don't blab and I don't talk as much as a lot of people. Yeah, you're not blabbering and talking about every frickin' little thing, about every little object, every little thing you're doing and all the material things you want to do and this and that. The house's owner asks, are you okay? Yeah, so what happens is when I'm maybe doing Zikr or doing Simran, or I'm quietly appear faking. You're a faker? Yeah, I fake that I'm sleeping prove you're no faker? So what I do is I pretend like I'm tired and I'm sleeping, but I'm actually doing Zikr and Simran both. How do you do that? Zikr and Simran. Don't you have to both be a Punjabi and a Muslim? Yeah. The house's owner asks, are you okay? So they often will ask me if I'm okay. So I say, yeah, I'm okay. Then I continue my meditation. Your hands shake like an old man's. Why today? And then they'll ask why I have a Band-Aid on and what happened to me and if I've gotten old. And, oh, your hands shake like an old man's. Why today? What happened? They ask, and then they ask me what happened to my arm and things like that. And why do you flee here, dear fellow? And why are you coming back? And why did you come back to New York? And they'll ask the questions. And the one friend, he said he gave up keeping track of where I am, so he doesn't. Some of them, they don't ask where I am, so they can't figure out from my Instagram or Facebook and say, where is he now? So since I'm moving around and they don't ask where I am anymore. They say, what happened? Why do you play here, dear fellow? But basically I come back to New York and see my friends on the tennis court. And like I said, the one friend, he said, oh, I gave up figuring out where you are. Okay, and how did your complexion turn so yellow? And then they'll wonder, like, how how did you get the tan, and exact kind of tan that you have, and I kind of explained that I've been playing tennis, and but I do wear sunscreen, and sometimes I wear my UV protected shirt and things like that. There's seizing donkeys out there now, he said. Yeah, and sometimes there's scammers like they have these guys when you go to the ATM, they come with devil's breath, and they will drug you with this thing called devil's breath, and you'll sort of black out, and they'll try to take your credit card and ATM card and steal money from you and switch the cards and all that stuff. So there's seizing donkeys out there now, he said. Yeah, so sometimes the donkeys get the ordinary persons that go to ATMs, and they're pursuing money to get more money and to spend more money like a donkey. There's seizing donkeys out there now, he said, to be used by that nasty king instead. My friend, they are taking donkeys. You're not one, so why are you so worried now? Be gone. Yeah, and then when I listened to the teachings of the master, he said, when after something hard, difficulty comes, and then another one comes. Oh my God, really? Yeah, what happened is I had this stupid, this claim against a Geico, and they said they settled the case. And so I was saying, oh, nice, it's no problem anymore, and there's no problem, so there's no problems. But then this other thing happened right after that, and then I had this other problem with the ATM, and then the master, he said that there's always difficulties in the karma, and not to get too upset about the past and the future. Okay. Yeah, to my friend, they're taking donkeys. You're not one. So why are you so worried now? Be gone. So at the same time that I'm a donkey, I'm not a donkey. They are so serious, and they seize them quickly. They might mistake me also for a donkey. They are so busy seizing them that they might have lost all discernment in this way. When one without discernment is the emperor, they seize the donkey's owner then and there. Yeah. Like if you have somebody who's without discernment, like you have somebody like, let's say, Putin is in control in Russia, he has no discernment. And they'll seize all the donkeys, and he tries to seize the property in Ukraine. When one without discernment is the emperor, they seize the donkey's owner then in error. Our city's king won't take without perceiving. He has discernment. He is hearing, seeing. Be valiant. Don't fear donkey seizers here. Oh, they saying don't fear donkey seizers. Well, I'm not saying I should live in fear, and I'm not sure I don't really live in fear now even. So it says to be valiant and don't fear donkey seizers there. So just because these difficulties occur, I'm not suddenly gonna live in fear. Okay. You're not a donkey, Jesus, do not fear. Your light fills the fourth heaven. God won't let your own abode be a mere stable yet. So God hasn't abandoned me, and he's not gonna, and his light still filling up the fourth heaven. So, and I'm not going to end up in the stable with a bunch of donkeys if I keep reading the poetry of Rumi and maybe listening to the broadcast of the Master, and I continue reading scripture, and I continue doing meditation, and I read mystic Urdu poetry and Persian poetry and all kinds of mystic poetry and then scriptures. Oh, okay. You're on a boat, being unstable yet, though in a stable now for something. You are loftier than the stars in heaven too. Yeah, even though I'm stuck kind of in a stable, I'm actually loftier in this podcast than the stars in heavens too. The stable's master's not a donkey, is he? Not everyone inside is one, you will see. Yeah, not everybody is a donkey like my master is not. He's above. He's not a donkey. Why are you hung up on the donkey now? And why are you so hung up on it? So, yeah, when are you going to get out of it, your hang-ups? Yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard to forget your hang-ups, but you can heal your mind through long-term accurate meditation. Oh, so why don't you? And why harp about playing tennis at 6 a.m.? Why don't you just do it? Shut up. You can contact like all your friends and see if somebody will come at 6 a.m. and you can contract them and ask them for a performance bond that they actually show up at 6 a.m. and say like, yeah, if you give me a performance bond of say like $10,000 for pay me $1,000 for each minute that you're late, so you won't have, you can, yeah, but, oh, so you are impatient. Yeah, I'm impatient for people who come late to the tennis court. You preach about being patient everywhere, but slit the veins of your friends when they're late to the tennis court. Yeah. Yeah, I am. So you are a nasty person. I thought you said you were going to becoming a santo or a saint by the age of 70. But you're a nasty person who gets angry. Yeah. So why are you hung up on the donkeys now? Tell of the flowers and rose gardens somehow. So yeah, you could tell about something more beautiful and get out of this rut of your negativity and tell of the flowers and rose gardens somehow. Pomegranate, apple, and the orange trees, wine, and so many fair ones who will please. That sea is waves of pearls, such pearls that can speak up and see things just like any man, or birds that pick for fine roses and then lay silver and golden eggs in their own way, or falcons nurturing partridges which fly upside down on their backs up in the sky. The world has hidden ladders one can seek and then lead rung by rung to heaven's peak. Each party has a ladder that is different, and each path has a heaven that is different. Yeah, there's a lot of different paths. So maybe you should just, no one knows of the other state of heart, that realm's expensive. Well, stunned by the other, and he says, why is he happy? What's here to amaze? Yeah, and why am I happy? People wonder why I'm happy with just reading this crusty old book on poetry. Well, look what it's about. Why is he happy? What's here to amaze? Yeah. God's earth's broad and expansive all around. Each tree grows from a different patch of ground. The leaves and branches give thanks and applaud. What a realm. It's expansive and so broad. Well, yeah, if people are so negative or whatever, you could hang out with like plants or something, maybe the birds, or you can go out and all animaltrails.com, or maybe they're positive at least. A lot of the plants are positive in the morning, so around the blossom nightingales are gathering and give us some of the food that you are having. Go back now to the fox and pain and hunger that lion felt. This talk can't stretch much longer. Yeah, and I could stretch this whole podcast out much longer. So that's what I'm doing. I'm stretching it out. So why don't you just read the poetry? Why do you stretch it much longer? Well, this is an interpreted reading of Into My Own Life of the poetry of Rumi. So this talk could stretch much longer. So I had to go to the police department and get my police report. So to see if they make any progress in catching the fox. So, that way he doesn't go and trick him again. When the fox brought the donkey up the slope, so it could be killed easily and not cope. Yeah, what they do is if you have been drugged or have devil's breath, then you could be easily killed. It could be killed easily and not cope. While still far from the lion at some distance, that lion couldn't wait more in this instance. It leapt down from the higher point, but lacked the strength to catch its prey when it attacked. The donkey saw it from afar and fled to the hill's bottom, panicked, full of dread. Yeah, that's when I panicked, and I fled to the laundromat, and then I panicked when I was buying a cup of coffee, and I saw the credit card had been switched, and I was full of dread. "O king," the fox said to the lion, "why could you not wait for it to come nearby?" So that lost one would be so close to you that you could easily overpower it too. Haste is the trap of Satan. I've been saying that. I keep saying that. I keep telling big wife or whoever, I say that rushing, and like if you go late to something and you're rushing with the car and you have an accident, okay. Haste is the trap of Satan in its place. Patience and planning are the merciful's grace. That's why I ask what the plan is. I try to ask what the plan is for the afternoon, and if she has a medical appointment, and I make my plan, and I don't go late to the tennis court, and I have a plan with my friends, and she goes to the doctor, and then the afternoon you do the laundry. Haste is the trap of Satan in its place. So it's not that important that I rush, though I do seem to rush in a way, but yeah, you're like a Russian and sometimes. Yeah, well, when you're in haste, you don't put on your seatbelt until after you actually started driving, and that's not a good. Haste is the trap of Satan in its place. Haste, patience, and planning are the merciful's grace. But at the same time, you don't plan so much that all you're doing is planning. It's ridiculous. That's not good sense. Okay, so you plan unconsciously, or you don't overuse your mind to plan, or patience and planning are the merciful's grace. Well, you could have God do the planning, I guess, as a conscious co-worker of the divine plan. And he could tell him he could do the plans. And you're not going to waste your time. God, do the planning. Yeah, and why should I have to do all the planning? Why doesn't God do it for me? Or the master do it for me? I'll be patient and waiting for the master to do my plans. Okay. All right. Yeah, I have a problem like this with the master. He says, why don't you be more self-sufficient? And I say, you should do the planning. And I'm too busy with meditation, so don't interfere with I don't like it when the master interferes with my meditation. Patience and planning are the merciful scripts. The donkey saw from far off you'd attack. You have shown your weakness now and what you lack. Yeah, I'm showing that I have these weaknesses in this podcast. And the weakness where I refuse to do my own planning. You've shown your weakness now and what you lack. Yeah, in a way, these people, maybe they should do more of their own planning. And so sometimes the people that spend so much long hours at church, they need to spend some time at home teaching their kids and working and organizing and educating their children. They have shown your weakness now and what you lack. I thought I had my strength, the lion said. Yeah, and I thought I had the strength. Yeah, I thought I would play better against Peter and Lewis. And yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, I know you played well, but why didn't you slaughter them? Okay. I thought I had my strength, the lion said. I didn't know I was so weak instead. Yeah, I didn't know that I was so weak and need more practice. I actually have this t-shirt that says, I think you should practice. That's a funny shirt. I haven't decided if I'm wearing it to the U.S. Open. I think you should practice. I think I'll wear it. I didn't know I was so weak instead. My hunger's so extreme in consequence. So I've lost my patience and intelligence. Yeah, in a way, I may have lost my intelligence. What happened is I had to put options, and I really thought the market would go down, but then NVIDIA's earnings came out, and it was a blowout. Okay, so even though 10-year bond yields are high, very high, the stock market just keeps going up. Okay, so I've lost my patience and intelligence with respect to trading the stock market. Could you please once again, through cleverness, bring back that donkey to me, nevertheless? I'd be indebted. Try hard, you might still succeed in luring it back with your skill. I'm trying to figure out the symbols here. The fox said, okay, with God's help, to bind a seal upon its heart to make it blind. So what they do is then they can take drug the donkey with devil's breath, and then they can make the donkey blind. So it forgets the terror it did see. This might work due to asininity. But when I bring it back, don't rush out then, and due to too much haste, lose it again. Yeah, you don't want to do too much haste. Like, don't sometimes you hit the ball too hard, maybe. You just tap it sometimes. Sometimes it goes out if you hit it too hard. Due to too much haste, lose it again. Yeah. And I don't want to lose my credit card again, so I shouldn't go to the ATM with too much haste and so often. I should maybe use just electronic, or use the card on the phone like a normal person. Yeah, okay. The lion said, I've learnt now from before, my body's weak. I'm
My
injured and
body's
so
weak.
sore.
My
I
body's
won't move
weak.
till the donkey nears this clearing,
My body's
and I'll stay there still here as if I am sleeping.
Yeah.
So I sat by the tennis concha and I
Tennis
sat
court.
there and I went early in the morning and I was there at like 6:45 and they were already full. Okay, so you were tardy. You were too late. You should have gone at 6. But then I played on the wall and then I sat down a little bit on the bench and then the nice Asian man, he was kind enough to invite me to hit with him. Okay, that's nice. So
The Asian.
if you're patient, maybe wait a little bit. And I'll stay still here as if I am sleeping. The fox left saying, King, pray, ignorance has failed the donkey's own intelligence. It has made vows to its God and Creator not to be duped by any wretched faker. Yeah, and I made a vow not to be. I keep vowing not to be duped and waste my time in material pursuits day by day. So I made vows to God and its Creator not to be duped by any wretched faker. Well, I vow I don't want to be duped again with the credit card thing with being switched. So I say I should not go inside the bank to the ATM and not to the one on the street. You'll make it break its vow through trickery. You foes of vows and wisdom's way, aren't we? We are foes of vows and wisdom's way, aren't we? The donkey's heads are children's ball. Its mind is just a toy for trickery of our kind. Reason that Saturn's orbit can affect his lost near universal intellect. Saturn and Mercury have made it knowing. Ours is from the Creator who's bestowing. He taught man is his special signature. He taught man is his special signature. The knowledge is with God. We are aiming for. We have been nurtured by the radiant sun. Yeah, and what I do is, I'm still saying that I should, if I get an apartment, it surely still has to be facing east. And it has to have the windows open. Wow, really? And a lot of air, so you worship air and light. We have been nurtured by the radiant sun, that's why we pray. My Lord, the Most High One, although the donkey had a bad experience. Yeah, well, although I had a bad experience, hundreds of them lose to my interference. That weak-willed one might yet break its own vow, and breaking vows, misfortune reach it now. Yeah, so what could happen is, if I'm not more careful, and what happened is I had skipped satsang, and I was supposed to go on Saturday, and something came up, and I decided to go and just do a bunch of errands and take my wife to the beauty parlor, and this is when it happened. Oh my God. So you were weak-willed and you skipped going to satsang, and the master even said you would get into trouble. Yeah. If you keep skipping satsang. Yeah. The weak-willed one might yet break its own vow, and breaking vows, misfortune reach it now. So misfortune did reach me. So I'm trying not to make the mistake again. That's the sound of Baines. Why are you making the sound of Baines? Well, the fox rushed to the donkey that had fled. One can't be friends with one like you, it said. Yeah, well, in some ways I can't be friends with some people because they just don't have the same values. So. One can't be friends with one like you on this podcast. Ignoble one. What did I ever do? You had to turn down the agua more? It was caliente? You're making the chocolate with how are those frijoles? Oh, nice. Yeah, one can't be friends, so I've had to withdraw. I'm still with my family, but I don't spend a lot of time with my friends unless they're hitting the tennis ball. And they gotta hit it hard and fast. Okay. Ignorable one, what did I ever do? To be led to a dragon's lair by you. What caused you to despise my whole existence? Well, some people do despise my whole existence. That's the thing why I can't. Those same people despise me. They can't be my friends. Okay, what caused you to despise my whole existence in this podcast? Stubborn one, but your own appealing essence, like scorpions that bite men's feet, even though they haven't suffered from them any blow. Yeah, they'll bite. Some people, they'll bite your feet, though. I really haven't done anything to them, so... What did I do to them that they want to bite me? They just, some people, they don't like anything strange. And they're fundamentalist orthodox. They think like, yeah, so she's ready to bite the cockroaches, the cockroaches. They're like scorpions that bite men's feet, even though they haven't suffered from them anything. We haven't suffered that much from the cockroaches, but she's ready to bite them. Or like the devil, our soul's enemy, though we have not ever harmed him actually. It's in his nature. Or like the devil, our soul's enemy, though we have never ever harmed him actually. Yeah, what did I do to the negative power that he's so hostile to me? And he tries to keep me a prisoner from going to Sachkan, of the highest heaven. Or like the devil, our soul's enemy, though we have not ever harmed him actually. Yeah, what did I ever do to him that he's out to get me? Yeah. It's in his nature, our soul's enemy, seeing human demise. Fills him with glee. Yeah, and why should I allow him to use me as his entertainment vehicle? Okay. Seeing human demise fills him with glee. Yeah, and I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of his using me. So that's why I do meditation, is to get the hell away from him. It's in his nature. Our soul's enemy, seeing human demise, fills him with glee. He never quits pursuing all the people. How can he flee his nature, which is evil? Well, you're saying you're like talking about the devil, and this is a negative podcast, but it's not really. It just utilizes the cosmology of that's known in Sant-Mat philosophy. What's Sant-Mat? Well, if you look at the Anurag Sagar by Kabir or something, he is the father of modern spirituality. So this is modern spirituality. Yeah, this is a modern reading, modern update to Rumi. So, when I'm requested to drink my chocolate. So, without cause, his gross essence constantly draws him to enmity and tyranny. Good morning. That was a kiss from Hannah. That was nice. That's very elegant and nice. Without cause, his gross essence constantly draws him to enmity and tyranny. He beckons you towards a tent instead. He wants to hurl you down a well, he said. There is a pool and fountains in this place, but throws you in a tank headfirst at pace. He flung down Adam to dire situations, though he had vision and true inspirations. Yeah, and I've had true and visions and inspirations, so is the same thing going to happen to me? I don't know. Are you Adam? And well, I'm Adam in a way. We're all Adams, I guess. And Adam hadn't harmed him previously or done a thing to that foe hurtfully. What you doing, Hannah? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? What that was due to a charm, the fox then said. A lion magically was shown instead. I'm weaker than you, how can I feed there? If a lion's really there, I wouldn't dare. Without use of magic charm back there, all hungry ones would rush in for a share. How could that meadow be preserved for us if drawing every keen rhinoceros or elephant? I wanted to teach you not to be scared if you see such a view. It terrifies. But I forgot to say, immersed in pity for you yesterday, I'd seen you with no food and very hungry. I hurried so you'd find your cure more quickly in this podcast. Because in a lot of ways, the listeners haven't had food and they're very hungry for the truth. So food is just spiritual knowledge and bliss and enlightenment. I've seen you with no food and very hungry. I've hurried this podcast so you'd find your cure more quickly. I would have told you of the magic charm of the words of rumi, and that the lion's not real and can't harm. The donkey's reply to the fox said, "Begone, O enemy. Your vile face is one I don't want to see. That God who has made you to be unlucky has made you loathsome, stubborn, and so ugly. With which face are you coming back this way? Oh, rhino skin is not as thick, I'd say. You'd sought my blood and did so openly, saying, come to the meadow now with me. I saw the angel of death's own face back then. Have you brought here your cleverness again? Though I'm a donkey, I'm a living being. Yeah, and I'm not going to be mistreated even though I am a donkey. I have certain rights with a soul too, and I have a soul. So even though my body is like a donkey, I have a soul. So I am not believing if a mere chassis what I did behold. Of terror there he would at once turn old. Losing my heart and soul, I rushed in fear, headlong fire from the mountain to get here. Yeah, and I rushed back. I rushed to get here to do this podcast. And every morning I rush back to my soul in meditation because I don't want to just be a donkey. My legs froze at the moment it occurred, since I'd seen terror unveiled there. You heard me cry to God, oh, about God, who is kind? Release my legs now, please, from their tight bind. And I won't heed their tempting talk, I plead, and promise God, who helps all those in need. My God, release my legs. That moment there, due to my sharing my despair in prayer, that lion would have reached me very quickly if he had not. What a fate for a donkey. The jungle's lion sent you back to me, evil sidekick, to use your trickery by the pure essence of eternal God. A bad snake's better than a bad friend's fraud. Yeah, and I'm not going to be misled and diverted from my attention to the higher aspects of life from my friends. Okay. A bad snake's better than a bad friend's fraud. The bad snakes take a life, but the bad friends will drag one to a fire that never ends. Yeah, that's why I went back to satsang and I was trying to hang out with some of my better friends. Without words, hearts take that friend's disposition in ways that are not made clear to your vision. And when he casts his shadow over you, that one steals all you're more liable to. Yeah, if your mind has become a drunken dragon, the bad friend's emerald's your most feared weapon. He makes your mind's eye pop out all at once. He curses. His curses throw you into pestilence. And the fox answers the donkey. The fox said, my drink has no dreads at all, but your imaginings certainly aren't small, you simpleton. It's all just in your head. Yeah, all this fear you have of the fox and the mind and your friends being materialistic is just in your head. You simpleton, I bring no malice nor make schemes ahead. Don't view me through the lenses of your illusions. Why target dearest friends with your suspicions? Have nice thoughts of your own, well-meaning brother. Yeah. Why don't you have nice thoughts about your brother? So,
How's your brother?
what did you actually do wrong to him? He's just been nice. Have nice thoughts of your own well-meaning brother. Though he may look like he will give you bother.
Yeah.
When such suspicions come out in the open, 100,000 friendships will be broken. If a compassionate friend should act malicious, that touched you, use your brain. Don't be suspicious.
Don't be so suspicious.
Huh. Yeah, I try not to use my brain for basically anything because my brain doesn't work right. Okay. So you avoid thinking and just do meditation? Yeah, well, my brain, the mind doesn't really work right. It's not capable of understanding reality.
Yeah.
Oh, so is that why you took up mysticism and meditation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially me, though I have a bad name. It was a charm, not evil, you should blame. And if it was just evil, then that's fate. Friends must mistake, forgive mistakes, not rush to hate. So I can't really rush to hate people and all this because people make mistakes and so I'm stuck having to forgive their mistakes. And I don't make any, but they're always making them, so. What? Yeah.
Today.